Welcome to another video from Charis Ministries. We're glad that you're able to join us today. Our passion is to see people trained, equipped and developing for ministry. This is part 2 of the video where we're looking at the idea of building a team ministry together. If you've been in ministry any length of time, you will realize you don't have all the gifts and you can't do it on your own. So you're going to need to build a team around you, whether that's volunteers or paid members of staff. You're going to need good people around you in order to fulfill your calling. So we looked at some issues surrounding that. We've suggested 5 things that we need to look at. And in the previous video, we looked at the first one, the issue of character. That's our building block. That's our foundation. And we give you 5 questions that will come on screen in a moment to help you discern a person's character and heart. So we move on from our building block of character to look at the second area, and that's the area of competence. We're looking for people with ability. And we shouldn't be afraid to set the bar high on this, to have high standards. Because if someone is competent in one area, then they have the ability to learn skills in another area. We're looking for people who know their spiritual gifts, who have developed their spiritual gifts maybe over a period of years, who are comfortable with using their gifts. And as 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 10 says, we're looking for people who've been tested over a period of time. So the idea for us is that we're looking for proven competence. People who have a track record, people who have a history, people who we look at and say, they get things done. So we have issues of character, with issues of competence. The third thing that we need to look at is the area of chemistry. This one is often overlooked, but really, how do they fit with us? How do they fit relationally in our team? Do we actually enjoy being with them? Do we enjoy spending time with them? Do they have a positive emotional effect on us when they come into the room? Don't overlook this one, because if they don't have that effect, if we don't enjoy their company, then we're going to struggle, because most of ministry will be spent in team with other people, with groups of people. So if we're going to build a team and spend time with them, we need to actually like them. We need to enjoy time. There has to be that fit. And it doesn't mean they necessarily agree with everything we say, but is there that fit together? Is there that chemistry that we can work together well? The fourth thing we need to look at in terms of building a great team, after character, after competence, after chemistry, is culture. Now that can be a hard one to define for many people, but your organization, your church, your ministry will have its own culture. In Charis Ministries, we believe in taking godly risks. We're happy to pioneer new areas. We're happy to try new things in order to communicate the gospel, in order to equip and reach other people. We also believe in working across different denominational boundaries. We're not stuck in one denomination. And so those are some of the things that help us define our culture. And you will have those things even if they're not written down. So what is the culture of your organization? Define it, write it down, look at it. If the person you want on team doesn't have the same values, doesn't have the same ethos, if your culture doesn't excite them, then don't bring them on team. Because if your culture doesn't excite them, if it doesn't grip them, then they won't stay the course for the long term. They won't have that same value, they won't have that same ethos. So what is your culture? Start by defining it. Start by looking at the values and looking for people with the same heart, with the same mindset, with the same values that will add value to your team. The fifth thing that I think is worth looking at is a sense of calling. If you're looking to develop teams, if you want people on team that are going to serve alongside you, that are going to serve along with you, that are going to add to your team and add value to your team, there has to be that sense of calling. Do they share that sense of calling that you have? Even if their gifts are different, even if their gifts are complementary, do they have that sense that they're called to this ministry? If not, that when difficulties come, when difficult decisions may have to be made, they'll not stick around. They'll not push through to do what it takes. So is there a sense of calling? And that's something certainly that you can pray about. That's something that God can nudge you with. God the Holy Spirit can help you pick people that you think wouldn't necessarily be your first choice, but they have that sense of calling. So I would encourage you to consider these 5 issues together, and I hope that you can build a great team ministry.